Hey guys, I'm the Coaster Keat, and welcome back to Sorcery. Last time we were finally able to get some much needed rest in Dumpus, which turned out to fortunately not be too much of a dump, except for the place where we had to dig a hole for people to leave a dump. Anyways, we will now leave our own Dumpus and get the heck out of this city. So, let's go. You rise early, dismiss the attentions of the householder, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you are out of Dumpus and back on the road. After another hour or so, the way branches, with one path heading up into the hills and the other turning downhill and along one side of a barren stony ridge. Is that a village you can make out on top of the hill? It seems a lonely place for it. So we can either go downhill towards some abandoned mines. You guys all know how much I love abandoned stuff. Or we could go uphill to this small city. Now I must admit, I am very curious at why this city is so isolated. So we're going to go ahead and go uphill. The gentle upward slope becomes a steep climb as you are forced to rest several times. So far you have been walking through the foothills. Now the journey will become more serious. When you finally reach the summit and can look out over the low plateau you have crested, you see the path runs through a small settlement of crudely fashioned huts. Wow, look at those people. They do not look happy. There are villagers out in the street talking and working. It seems a happy, bustling little place. Maybe they are happy. I'm gonna watch for a bit. You stay at your vantage point and watch a while longer to see if things change. After a while, you begin to notice something strange about the way people in the village are moving. First, you notice one is limping, then another. Then you realize they are all shuffling as they move. Some use sticks. One is even crawling. You stay hidden and watch for longer. After a while, you realize that whatever is happening in the village, it is desperate. There is no laughter, no joy. There is no trade or commerce. The women do not walk about, and the men do not watch them. It is a village stripped of all of its life. What happened here? I'm gonna go visit them. These are people in need of a savior, and indeed I am the best savior for it. You may not be that woman, but you can try. You approach, arms open, to show that you are not a threat. But the message is not understood. The villagers see you and panic. They begin to scurry inside their huts as if you were an army and not a lone traveler. Their bodies are thin and malnourished, and as they disappear through the doors, you notice there are some missing limbs. Hello. You knock on one of the doors of the nearest huts. There is no reply. Another hut. You approach the next hut. From inside you hear the murmur of voices, so you enter. The hovel is tiny and poor, with no furnishing of any kind. A small fire burns in the middle of the floor, and by the far wall, a family of 3 cowers from you. The woman lifts a shaking hand as if to hold you back. What spells exactly would I cast in this scenario? Hold on 1 second. I need to go consult the stars. What's R-O-K? Just turn to stone in front of them, be like, hello! I'm now a statue. I'm going to protect you from everything here. But unfortunately, we don't have the stone dust that would require, which is truly unfortunate. I can cause fear. That seems like a bit of a jerk move. I'm trying to be their savior, not their... I don't even know. F-O-F. A force field. Interesting. And then... oh, there's 2 options here. Dim. Do not fear me, because of stupidity. Well, now they're not even intelligent enough to fear me. That should work. Probably not a good idea. Or doc. Heal disease. Requires a medicinal... why is that there? Well, I don't have a medicinal potion, so I guess there's nothing I can do. I'm gonna hold out a hand of friendship. You put out your hand to greet the man. He shuffles over nervously and grasps it with feeble strength. Are you magical, stranger? Are you not afraid of us? Afraid of you? Never. But, friend, he replies, don't you know? We have the plague in this village. You spring back from him, but it is too late. You can feel the infection on the palm of your hand like a curse. Why didn't you warn me? The man looks at you with wide, sorrowful eyes. I dared to hope, he whispers. You take another step back in fear and regret. You have but a few days. Leave them. Fear overtakes you, and you race out of the door, and do not stop running until you are clear of the accursed village. Well, nothing for it but to move on, I guess. The path beyond the village heads downhill and once more between thick trees, before turning into a narrow goat track that crosses a rough peak. From the summit you get a wide view. Well, I've learned my lesson. We're looking around. Ahead, down a steep slope, the next village is sprawled out before you, and even from here you catch the sound of merry voices and shouting from the streets. It must be a carnival. Looking right, you hear a roaring noise, and you can just make out a beautiful, majestic waterfall, plunging from a cliff into a great rock bowl. You watch for a few minutes, marveling at how clear the water seems. Then it is time to move on. You are feeling cold. Purple blotches are breaking out on the backs of your hands. Oh, if there's ever been a time to pray for healing, it is now. Hey, Dolphin. You drop to your knees, shivering and shaking, and mouth a fervent prayer to your spirit, the dolphin. Does it hear you? It is hard to tell. But then you start to feel warmth creeping through your bones, and the purple marks on your skin are fading away. You raise a cheer to the spirit for such aid. But what about the people you have left behind? They have no such guardian. You follow the track down a steep decline. Okay, let's head for the town. Some way down the hill you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards, and at its foot, cradled between three peaks, is a village, and quite a large one at that. Behind you, the sun is falling rapidly into the hills. It will be night soon. I want to approach the village. The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward, when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping. I'm gonna freeze. Let's see what the heck's going on. You freeze. Hovering by your shoulder is a small creature, the size of a bird. Oh, they know my weakness. If they give me a parrot, I will be so happy. It doesn't matter if it's an evil parrot. It doesn't matter if it's a cursed parrot. It doesn't matter if that parrot has the frickin' plague. I will take that parrot, and I will be with it for as long as my very small life allows. Ah, it is childlike, but very thin. Oh, the poor thing, with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. This sounds more like a fairy. It seems friendly enough. It even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Well, you are acting like a parrot. I'm gonna talk to it. Ah, definitely a fairy. Greetings, little creature, and hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is John. What are you? The creature does a backflip and gives a low bow. I am a Minimite, pleased to meet you. It reaches out a tiny hand and shakes your earlobe. What do you want with me? See that village? The creature replies. Last time I tried to go through, they told me I wasn't welcome, so I wouldn't mind some protection. The creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles impatiently. Let's get going, can't we? What? And you tell me about the village. You point down the valley. Is it safe? I just was in one village and it had the plague. They didn't even tell me it had the plague. They just looked like they were undergoing this horrible thing, and I didn't think twice about it. It was horrible. That's very strange, but that's Biranti, and it's very safe. It is the largest village in the whole of the Shamanti Hills. Every traveler who comes this way spends at least one night there. so it's a little bit expensive, especially for Minimites, but pleasant enough. Okay, well, where I'm going is dangerous, you warn the creature. You might be killed traveling with me. The creature shrugs. I've got small wings. Can't get far on my own. The creature flits to your other shoulder once more. You're not in a hurry, are you? It observes. Do you want to sleep out in the rough? I guess let's get going then. The creature shakes you by the ear in excitement, and you set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are towering tall and throw the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets come the distant sound of laughter and merriment. Let's enter the town. You continue along the path. The sound of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here in the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dire road, the people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See, the Minimite on your shoulder remarks, I told you it was a happy place. What's going on? Are they bewitched? John shakes his head. No, if there was magic, believe me, I'd know. This is the festival of the young. What's that? And also, what's my age in this game? Well, take a look. Jean waves a little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year, the children are allowed to the freedom of the village. It is a great time to have fun and lots of pranks. It becomes quickly obvious what he means. You pass the first few buildings, where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside of a hut with a sign that reads Glandrago's Tavern. It is all complete mayhem. I could try to rescue the old woman, but I have a feeling that wouldn't go so well with a bunch of kids, and I also don't feel like killing kids right now, because I might have had a traumatic experience with that before. Well, I guess we'll leave her. Okay, well, this seems, I guess, enter the tavern. Behind the bar, a thick-set man is wiping mugs down with an old rag. Greetings, stranger, he calls. I am Glendragor. Can I be helping you? Greetings. I've come a long way. I'm sure you have. Take a seat. You do so, and Jean leaps up and onto the counter. Glendragor seems amused rather than alarmed by the creature. How much is a mug of ale, you ask? 2 gold pieces, and it's the finest in town. Well, it's the only ale in town. I make sure of that. I don't have enough. I don't want to spend 2 gold on that. I need, like, rations and stuff. Should I blatantly lie? Or should I just leave? I guess I'll lie. I have no gold, you lie. The innkeeper gives you a long, hard look, deciding whether or not he trusts you. Then he relents and pours you a mug. Don't tell anyone I gave you that, but it's on the house. Glendragor smiles. You look like you've been on the road a while. You have no idea, you reply. Glendragor nods. Oh, what a nice guy. I just lied to his face and he still gave me the... Aw, I feel bad. I feel horrible. Tell me about this village. Glendragor shrugs. Not much to say. What you see is what you get. This place keeps going because it's on the only route between Kar and Cantopani. If one of these mountains falls or the river freezes over, then this place will be a desert in 2 weeks. Tell me about yourself. Me? Why? He spreads his hands. I'm a normal enough fellow. What you see is what you get with me. That's all what I always say. I'm headed for Kar myself. Of course you are, he grins. Didn't I just tell you that? What can you tell me about it? Ah, Kar. I loved a girl in Kar once. It's a town for love, you know, much like Paris. You have to live every day like it's your last in Kar, because the chances are high that it will be. Now there's a city of thieves, if ever there was one. I can watch my back. Well, don't forget to watch your front as well, Glandragor beams. They'll come at you whichever way. Glandragor goes back to wiping down his bar. Then a thought occurs to him. You'll be passing through Torapani, I suppose. The Svins in Torapani are normally a merry lot, but they're pretty depressed at the moment. There's a real gloom about that place. What's the matter with them? Oh, well. He thinks for a moment, then waves away whatever was on the tip of his tongue. I'm sure it's nothing to concern you. From the counter, Jean issues a loud burp. He has been sipping ale from puddles on the bar top, and is now quite drunk. Wake him. I'm not going to leave my friend behind. You poke the little creature, who clambers boozily up your finger, but then topples off and onto the floor. Leave him there, if you like, Glandragor says. I'll pick him up and put him in a mug, but you don't quite manage it. At the last moment, John rouses himself and flies, wobblingly, back onto your shoulder. I love you, he whispers into your ear. Well, that's, bizarre. I guess we're gonna just get ourselves into trouble going deeper in town. You head out of the tavern and turn a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost pointing to the crystal waterfall. They are tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling. Ask them about the waterfall. You stop by the group and ask them about the waterfall, but they are too distracted by Jean, whom they delight in poking, tickling, and generally cooing over. After a few minutes of asking them about the waterfall, you give up and walk away. One of the girls calls, "Come back!" Another shouts, "The water is good for you!" John sighs, already missing the attention, but comes back to rest on your shoulder. You leave the girls to their snickering. The water is good for you. Well, it was quite clear. Maybe we should go visit the waterfall. I'm feeling okay because we got that free ale, which I still feel so guilty about. You go back past the girls and head up a path that climbs through a crack in the mountainside. Soon the air is filled by a thundering. It is quite a climb, but eventually you turn a corner through a narrow cleft in the rock and see close up the waterfall you glimpsed from the hilltop earlier today, plunging down the cliffs overhead. Large crystal stalactites hang down either side of the water. There is only one path to reach it, winding up the rock face, and it passes by a small hut where a ruffian is collecting money. Ask Jean to scout ahead. You tap Jean on the shoulder. Why don't you scout ahead? Find out if this waterfall is worth the money. Jean nods vigorously. All right, but I'll be quick. Don't think you can get rid of me just like that. I can catch up. He flaps away up the path. What spells do I have here? What exactly do I have here? I wonder if I have that stupefy spell, but I don't remember what the words for it. Was it dim? I don't think I do. What's dud? Illusion of treasure. Interesting. N-A-F. A stench. N-I-P. Speed, but I don't have yellow powder. S. A lot of stars here. Cause depression. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. Why? Why is that an option? The duplicate one. And I think that's it. Interesting. Alright, well, let's greet the ruffian before anything happens. You make your way over to the hut. Greetings, you begin. You collect a fee for the waters. I do, sneezes the ruffian. These waters cannot be so healing that he has not caught an awful flu from them. 3 gold pieces. There's a buzzing at your shoulder as John returns and resettles himself. It doesn't look like much to me, he whispers. I think you'd be wasting your gold if you paid. It's haggle. 3 gold pieces, you shake your head. For a bath? That is too much. The waters are healing, the ruffian explains quickly. They'll do more than make you clean. I'll give you 2. The ruffian considers you for a moment. He seems to be won over by your manner. All right, 2 gold pieces. But don't tell anyone I did it. 1. The ruffian almost chokes on his own phlegm. I'm not a charity, he sputters. Well, my fairy friend told me that there was nothing going on, and this is a very expensive well, so I'm gonna turn back. You must think me a fool, you reply. The waterfall may be beautiful, but it is not worth risking your gold on. Reluctantly, you turn and head back into the village. As you pass the girls, they sneer to each other. She doesn't smell any better. Alright, well, time to sleep. You find the village inn buried under a rocky overhang. The proprietor stands in the doorway, a formidable young girl armed with a baker's paddle. "What do you want?" she shrieks at you. "A meal, a bed, room and board. Nothing of yours. 5 gold pieces," she says. "Plenty of travelers in Beriante. We only want the best." "How much for a meal?" The girl looks down at you with a severe expression. 4 gold pieces, she says. "No discounts." It's steep, but you haven't eaten today, and your stomach is churning. Nah, you shake your head. That's too much. You run a lowly inn, not a palace. The girl scoffs back at you as you turn and walk out of town. Jean hops up and down. "Just you and me, then." "Be quiet," you grumble. "Guess we're sleeping outside again. Good thing we have our good old rations." You make your way out of the village and into a stand of tall, dry trees under the overhang of one of those cruel mountainsides. Between curling roots, you find a small place to settle down to rest. Jean perches a little ways above on a knot and is quickly asleep. You are tired enough to follow suit, but you are hungry from not having eaten. Let's go ahead and eat. You pull out some of your food and eat quickly. The night's darkness draws in around you. In the distance you hear screams and whoops from the village that only slowly fade. You feel lonely, distanced from such revelry. You rest your hand on your backpack and close your eyes. There's no way I'm gonna not fight something. I know that I'll fight something. Your dreams are filled with walking, with peaks and valleys and endless paths. A curious light plays across them, building walls to heights before ruining them as it moves away. The rest of the night passes silently. Oh, I actually had a night where I didn't have to fight something? Now that is truly weird. But I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. We went ahead, we went through a plagued village, and then we had to deal with some kids that were running a town, and we had to deal with someone who thought their water was the best in the world, and obviously it wasn't. So, we'll see what happens next time. And I'm just gonna leave it with, I finally got this thing to work. So our spirit, just as in the beginning of this episode, continues to be the dolphin. Quick and carefree, the dolphin is happy to leap and skim his way through the world. He is brave, but not rash. Which is, I think that's a pretty good one. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I hope you all don't hate my decisions too badly. I think I'm making pretty good ones currently. If you want more, go ahead and subscribe. There are new episodes every other day. And, yeah. Thank you for watching. I hope you soar high and enjoy your ride of life. Bye.